What's going on, my friends? I hope you guys are well. I really do. It's been a minute since I've been on. Just living life, you know how that is. Doing well. I am heading out here the first of the week on another cruise. I'm going to take you guys with me. I'll document what I can when I go. I'm going on the Carnival Freedom out of Port Canaveral. I love cruising out of Port Canaveral. I'll show a lot of that. If you've never cruised out of Port Canaveral, it really is. It's probably my favorite port to cruise out of. It really is nice. I think it holds about 5 or 6 cruise ships. The Disney ships go out of there, and it's so cool. It goes out of this, there's a jetty canal, like a jetty park right there, and you got some restaurants, and you can sit on the deck at around 3:30 and eat, and you can almost dang touch the ships. It seems like they come out and you see people waving at you, and each ship comes out. It's so cool. Everybody goes out there to wave the ships off. It's really cool. It's kind of a thing for the locals there. They love doing that. But I haven't been down there. Gosh, I bet I haven't been to Cocoa Beach since 2018, maybe. If that. I'd say 2017, 2018. Definitely not since, since then, I know. I've been, the only place in Florida I've been since then was, I've been to 2020. I went down there. So I hadn't been down since 2020. I've been in there once since then. I went to Jacksonville for something. But but I hadn't gone any further south than probably St. Augustine, really not too further south than that. Then I went over to Panama City Beach because my nephew was in a baseball game back there. We were watching him play. They had these traveling tournaments and stuff like that. So, but anyway, I don't know if I mentioned that, it was one of those free cruises. You pay a few $100s, everything's covered. You just have to pay the port taxes and fees. And then I've got another one in January. I'm gonna go on the Carnival Vista. And it's going to the usual spots. It's going to the Dominican Republic one. I've been there before to Amber Cove, so some spots I've been to, but I figure, it seemed the most logical one. Around January 18, I would take it. I've never been on the Carnival Vista anyway. That ship came out in 2017, I think, 2018, I can't remember. Been 7 or 8 years since that ship's been out. The Freedom, I have no idea. I think the Freedom is in the same class as the Sunshine and the Radiance that I was on back in January. So, but to touch on something, I spoke to the people at Carnival a little bit deeper, and these new rewards programs, they don't know a whole lot. She told me this. She goes, "You know more than I do when they release it, and then they tell us. They keep it from us, so no one says anything, and then they bring us in for training." She just said everything's on a points basis and couldn't tell me much more than that. So I've got to know that Carnival, because, before you start freaking out, just, listen to them. They're going to roll this stuff out before June and tell you exactly how this is going to go. Because my question was, what do we have to do at a minimum to keep our status and build to the next status? She couldn't tell me. She said, they're giving you an extra 3 or 4 years on the, 3 to 4 years on the, Platinum, Diamond, I think she said was for life. You get to keep it, but I thought they said 6 years. So every operator kind of tells you, but they keep telling you, well, go to the rewards thing and then call the people at the casino section on the rewards and let them tell you. But she did say this specifically. She said, for every point you spend in the casino, for every dollar, that you spend, you get 3 points. For every dollar that you spend on your Carnival credit card, your Barclay card, if you don't have that and you really want to cruise a lot and get points, I think because swore she told me this, 3 points for every dollar you spend on your Carnival credit card. If you can see it right there, I've got it. Got that perks card, so we'll see. I'll find out more. Maybe they can tell me more when I get on the ship, because they released this stuff, the information, I think shortly after I got off my cruise in January. They started talking about this stuff. And I know I did a video, may have gotten some details backwarded on a video talk about it first. I apologize about that, but that's corrected. But be it that it may, we'll see. Carnival has to know that, it's got to be done right, or they're going to lose a lot of customers. And I don't think that's the case. If let's say worst case scenario is what she told me was, they'll go back to the days traveled and build points based on that and do something different if it need be. There's a reason why there is a change here. I don't want to talk about it, but I have because I don't want to say it's fact, but I have a hunch of why. it went back to when all this started, they had how many cruises? And that was cool because I wish I'd have gotten to platinum by the time that. Because there was a bunch of people taking 3-day cruises and all of a sudden they were platinum status. And then the day's travel, the people got it. But the people were getting the day's travel and they were getting the free cruises. So they were just going back and back and back and hitting a bunch of these free cruises. A few $100s a pop. But at the end of the day, isn't really free, and nor was mine technically. These two I'm going on aren't really free because I paid for them. And people say, well, how's that? I said, well, if you put money in the casino, you paid for it. Trust me, you paid for it. I had people sit at the table going, how much you pay for your cruise? I got it for free. I'm like, well, you had to pay port tax and fees. You had $300. I said, but you paid for it. Because I started looking at how much money he's putting on the table. I said, you paid for that cruise. Look at the money you're putting on. Have you gotten ahead here? Want any money? You know? The other guy goes, yeah, you didn't want anything, man. If you have it, what you haven't won went to the cruise line. You paid for that cruise. They want you back on the boat to spend more money. It's kind of like going to the fair or carnival in some regards, even though it's a little bit better. Hell of a lot better than that, let me tell you. But the whole point is to go on these cruises and enjoy it. It's not always about the casino. And I think what's made some people mad was that not everybody gambles. And they're like, how are we going to get our points? Because I think she said that any dollar you spend outside the casino, it's a point per dollar. And I'm like, but if it's put on the credit card, it's 3 points per dollar. That's why I said, if you go on these cruises, if you don't use that Carnival card for anything else, keep the balance zero. Use it a little bit to keep a little bit here and there once a year to keep it alive. Put your cruises on that card because you get 3 points for every dollar that you spend. So if you spent $1,200 on your cruise, that's 3 points. 1,200 times 3, $3,600. So you may not spend that much, or you may spend more. But I'm just saying, everything goes on that card. There's a points value. And I asked one operator the other day, and I'm gonna ask him again because how do you know about a credit card points? Does it connect or something? Just, oh, we know. I'm like, you still have to tell me how you know, because if I need to connect my card to you, so you are monitoring that, let's do this. She couldn't tell me. So I'm just telling you guys, they don't know everything. So let's not jump off the boat to somewhere else just yet. But be it that it may, I hope you guys are well. I haven't been on chit chat. I leave here. I'm going to go to Cocoa Beach for about a day or two, hang out, and then, because I like hanging out down there sometimes. It's about the only place in Florida I really like. They say Tampa's nice too, but Florida's Florida. You know, it's packed full. I can tell you that much. If you want to live down there, you're going to be either on a waiting list or getting what apartment you can. And then if you're trying to buy a house, you're going to be a while till you find something you may not want or may not be able to afford, or it's less than what you want. That's up to you. But South Carolina's getting like that too, so it is what it is. But anyway, I digress. I'm getting off. Don't want to be too long. I'll take you on with me, and we'll see you then. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Be cool. Bye.